The 20-win challenge is here, and it is brutal. You have to win 20 straight games while only losing up to 2 times, which demands a 90.9% win rate minimum. Today, I'll be showing you my complete guide on how to beat this challenge with 3.0 Xbow cycle, featuring gameplay from who else other than yours truly. This is my 20-win story. Enjoy! Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be playing the 20-win challenge with 3.0 Xbow cycle. I just went 17-3 live on stream. It was pretty tough, but I got back home. I am focusing up, locking in, and removing all external noise, just focusing on the path ahead of me. We are currently 12 wins and 0 losses in this challenge. I'm going for the 20 to get that exclusive emote and the badge, of course. Now, for us 3.0 Xbow cycle users this year, it's actually a pretty difficult challenge because the meta is not looking great. I mean, what's new in Clash Royale, right? But the 20-win challenge meta is riddled with broken cards and broken new evolutions, namely the Evo Royal Ghost and the Evo Skarmy. But the meta is kind of interesting. I mean, there's also this new Royal Hog's Giant Skeleton deck, which of course has both the Evo Ghost and the Evo Skarmy. There's also a bunch of E-Giant. I've seen a bit of Hog here and there, a bunch of beatdown like Golem, so it's just kind of a disaster all around, and I think it's actually going to be pretty difficult. Into our first game here against Mad Kid, who goes with a Sparky in the back, and I'm just going to try and show you guys exactly how to play 3.0 Xbow cycle as perfectly as possible. Something that you might be interested in and find curious is that I don't think you play 3.0 Xbow cycle differently depending on the situation. You know, for example, if you think you have to play the 3.0 deck in a certain way for the 20-win challenge versus a different way for ladder, for example, that's just truly not the case. You have to play this deck perfectly at all times, no matter what. And okay, this is bad, but I'm just going to go for a log, cycle back to my Skellies, and go for Skellies up high, and this should defend the Sparky. So it looks kind of tight, but we should be able to get out of that situation. Yeah, pretty nice. So yeah, you need to play this deck really well, no matter what situation you're in. And I feel like practicing at the highest level is very important because personally, I trained for the 20-win challenge playing a lot of grand challenges, and it was fun. It was nice to farm GCs. At the same time, I don't think it was the best practice for me because I switched to ladder after the GCs, and I actually felt my skill level was a little bit lower, not overall, but at the current moment when I was playing, because I was just used to playing such bad players. So one piece of advice I can give you guys, the best way to practice for the 20-win challenge now that it's out is just to keep playing the 20-win challenge. But otherwise, if you want to practice for a big event, you should play the most competitive mode that you can, which I would say is always going to be ranked mode. If you don't have ranked mode, then of course Trophy Road. And GCs and classic challenges are kind of not relevant in my opinion. I mean, they're always going to be there. I wouldn't use them to practice, more so just to farm resources and badges. But we are against the Royal Ghost evolution right here, and it's pretty nice because we do actually have a few different options to deal with it with 3.0 Xbow cycle. So we have the Evo Tesla, which gets that pulse to kill the ghouls that it spawns. We also have the E-Spirit, which is able to chain onto everything, so it's pretty useful, and it's not the end of the world to face in Ghost evolution. The problem is it's going to be really hard to break through when against decks that have a lot of beatdown cards. Like this guy's playing Giant Sparky, and honestly I was not expecting to face this, but you can literally slot the Evo Ghost in any deck and it'll be broken. So we have our cycle the Giant right now. I'm gonna go for the bow. He does get that Sparky down, but we have Evo Archers in cycles. Let's try and get them on the Sparky to get some fast DPS. Maybe we can get an E-Spirit to reset the Sparky as well. That would be nice. Okay, not unfortunately going to be the case, but I think we're still okay. What I have to do is just basically never let him build the big push. That's why I'm pressuring. Of course, it'd be nice to get a lock, but sometimes with this deck, okay, I'm going to go for the Tesla instead of the Xbow because I feel like we could go into these low in Elixir, but it's not worth to sack that much damage with the Ghost on the other side. And I forgot what I was saying just now, but basically, you just have to play this deck perfectly, is the moral of the story. And I could keep going in, but I'm just going to go for the defensive Exo now because I feel like it's at an impasse, and he's obviously predicting me to go in, so I'm just going to reset and play the most optimal play. Oh yeah, I was saying that I was playing opposite lane and pressuring a lot, and the reason for that was just so he couldn't build up a big push, but now, of course, he got a good sequence and good situation on the board, so I'm resetting with, again, the most optimal play, which is a defensive Exo in this matchup. Because this guy, I've identified his deck, does not have a big spell, so we should be pretty good to get value out of that. As you can see with the E-Spirit to chain onto everything and just overall controlling the Ghost pretty well, you are able to get a decent situation against that Evo Ghost, and it's not the end of the world if you play against it. You don't have to panic. I'm gonna get this Tesla to kite the Giant over, and I just have to make sure I kite everything over, and the Xbow's still going to town, so this actually looks pretty promising. Xbow does get on the Sparky too, which is pretty nice, and I can even block the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Maybe get a small Xbow lock if I go for a last minute log as well, and we almost do, but there's only 45 seconds left. So at this point, all I really have to do is just defend. I mean, if I keep spamming and trying to take his tower, I'd just lose the game. So what's the point in doing that, right? I'd rather just get a secure win. One thing you guys have to realize, a hardcore cold truth about this deck is that it's not that easy to break through the win condition, especially against a lot of the meta. So what you do have to end up doing is go to Tiebreaker, which is a 5-minute game, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. You know, there are different playstyles for different matchups, and in this matchup specifically, I think it's fine to go for the Tiebreaker. Also, I realize that if you want to log the Ghost evolution, you have to log low, you can't hit the tower, so I'll try to keep that in mind for next time on offense. But yeah, we played a really good game. We just kind of punished him in single. He wasn't really focused that much, and then I played perfectly after that as well. So like I said, I'll just be doing this for the rest of the video, trying to get 20 wins. I'll just be playing as perfectly as I possibly can against whatever matchup I'm faced with, and just do my absolute best because I want to get this 20 win. Let's get it. Alright, we got a match against a person with a very interesting username who does have a top 1000 ladder and global tournament, so going to be a pretty decent player. Let's see what he's going to be playing here. Split Archer's first play, and what I would like to tell you guys about this challenge and just the playstyle in general is you need to be ascertaining what the opponent is playing at the start of the match. You do not want to make informed decisions before you're informed about what those decisions should be made on. So what I mean by that is you take the first minute or so to find out more about the opponent's deck and adapt your game plan to what they'll be playing. You don't have the same game plan with this deck against everything. Everything is very much dependent. I always get asked questions like, hey, SK, when do I go archers here? When do you go Xbow there? It's less about that and more about building a framework and skill set where you can adapt your playstyle to whatever you're encountering. So right here, I know my opponent's playing E-Golem, Baby Dragon. He has the Battle Healer as well, so he might have a building or he might have a pump, and I know exactly what he has. Now we know he has the Ghost. I went Skeletons in front of the Archers because he didn't have Barbarrel back in cycle, and we just found out a lot more about his deck, and as you can see, only a minute has passed. We are up 1,000 damage, and we just got a lot of intel, so I'll be doing that throughout this entire video. Of course, when I get 20 wins, or hopefully if I do, I'll just be explaining my thought process at the start of every match in terms of discovering my opponent's deck, feeling them out to find out what they're playing, and then adapting accordingly. And I advise you guys to all do the same. Do not play this deck the same way every single time. Try and follow what I'm saying. Try and learn exactly how you're going to be able to play based on what matchup you're against, and adapt accordingly. You have to be adaptable with this deck. Let's get our evil archers and a nice fireball off here. I feel like we can get a lock if we play this correctly. We do get some good power shots on that baby dragon, and this should actually be a lock. The ghost does come down, and unfortunately goes visible just in time. I can log just to make sure it gets taken off, though, and we do still get a small lock, so can't really complain too much. I mean, we're up a lot, and now that I know he has a fireball, I can make informed plays about that as well. For example, I'm going to be able to go for stacked archers in the same lane because Fireball's a -1 trade, especially in the lane that he doesn't want tower damage in. Plus, I know where to go for my defensive Xbow anti-Firewall placement, so again, all of this kind of just adds up to be pretty useful. Now, my opponent is going to be playing the E-Golem, and E-Golem is a pretty counter-push heavy matchup as a whole. I don't really think you should constantly spam Xbows and try and break through, but I'm playing Xbows because I feel like my opponent's just in a disadvantageous position constantly. I just feel like he's not playing that well, and he's kind of nervous against me or something because he's just panicking. We're already up like 1,000. Let's make sure that Ghost doesn't go invisible, by the way. Against the Ghost, what you want to do is you want to make sure it's visible as long as possible, because if you let it fade and then re-pop up, it's going to spawn more ghouls every single time. So that's the way I control it. Now we know he has a pump, so I know that I can't really mess around. I have to fireball pretty much every single pump that I'm up against. It's going to be an annoying matchup because E-Golem is pretty toxic, and I feel like one big mistake and you can just lose to a huge E-Golem overwhelm. But the thing is, if I don't make mistakes and I play perfectly, I should be totally fine. I'm going to go for the defensive Exo here because I know he has a fireball, so this placement will force him to fireball my healthier tower. And I'm going for a defensive bow instead of an offensive one because I feel like he has a bit of an Elixir advantage. I don't really like it, and I just want to make sure I'm securing myself at a favorable position at all times in this match. He's going for stacked Zappies, same principle I was talking about with my archers in the opposite lane, but I think we should be pretty okay in this match. I mean, all we really have to do is defend for the rest of the game now. I don't expect to break through whatsoever. I feel like with this deck as well, by the way, you saw at the start, this is actually getting pretty intense. Let's get a good fireball here. Knight, get back to the log for those Eagle and Blobs. Get that perfect log timing to get the Elixir back, and yeah, everything as well. I feel like with this deck, which is what I was just saying, you need to play pretty aggressively in single in a lot of matchups, so it really helps to be more confident in your gameplay, I guess, in single. I mean, that's the way I like to play. You can see that I'm just kind of winning games in single a lot of the time, and I feel like that's just the way you have to play this deck sometimes, because it's just difficult. Now, this guy has an Evo Ghost, which is about to spawn the ghouls. That's going to be pretty tough, but I think with a nice defense here, yeah, we had a really good defense protecting our archers. Knight is tanking for everything. Goes for a pretty desperate fireball, and I think I will go for the bow, just because I don't want to waste my Tesla. I don't want to cycle random stuff, and, you know, this will just force stuff out, so it's not necessarily the end of the world. Just go for an Xbow there to make sure I don't really take any damage and still force out exactly what I want to force out. No need to fireball on defense here. Let's go archers in the right and then go for an Xbow in the right because I feel like he's just spamming really heavily. So I'll get this defense secured, and I think I'll actually just go for the Xbow right about now because he's just spamming way too much. I could fireball cycle same lane, but it's also really nice to just have an Xbow to pressure, and as you can see, we can get back to another Xbow in the left as well. So he's just kind of struggling wholeheartedly. I mean, I have like 5 archers on the board, 4 knights, and a bunch of cycle cards. Xbow does lock on the right, so that is huge. And yeah, he's just struggling. Like, he can't do anything. We got a lot of damage in the right, so we can actually switch lanes to the right side. Unfortunately, the ghost does go visible again. He has to respond to that knight archers. He can't go all in with the e-golem. All I really have to do is take my fireball at the end, make sure I don't forget about that, because I still would have lost in spite of doing all of that if I forgot to fireball. Never mind, my knight archer's got like 800 damage, but you can hopefully see the way I kind of found out what he was playing and then developed my playstyle to tailor it perfectly to exactly the cards that he had in his deck, and I'll be doing that every single game. Moving into our next one, again, CRDT Irving. This guy's a number 22 best finish. Same as me, actually. We have the same best finish, so pretty much an equal skill level here. Let's see what he's going to be running. We see the Evo Bats cycled first. I'm not sure what Evo Bats would be. Probably some kind of minor deck, if I had to guess. There's a minor. Let's go for the Knight to catch it. Perfect. And yeah, I mean, minor wall breakers, it goes for the Zap. I feel like this could be Giant, and I'm not feeling good about that. Let's go Archers. Maybe I can bait something out with these Archers. I'm trying to figure out exactly what he has, because I need to know exactly how I have to play this. And oh, Spear Goblins. He's going to be playing some kind of bait deck then. Maybe he's playing like Mega Knight bait. Yeah, he has a Goblin Gang as well. It's definitely some kind of bait, because Spear Goblins, Goblin Gang, Minor, Evo Bat, Zap. I think I just need to play passive. Let's go Knight the back, and I don't want to go for any Expos too early. In case he goes for like a Mega Knight or a Giant on top of the Expo, it's better to be safe this way. He does Minor on defense, so yeah, definitely playing it pretty optimally, as am I. You know, we're both pretty evenly matched players. Number 22 best finishes on both of our ends, and he goes for the Zap. I think what I will do is just get a Tesla down, because I don't know what exactly he has, and if we go for an Expo, it could just be a negative Elixir trade giving him a free win condition. Again, for example, Giant or even Mega Knight, if it's Mega Knight bait. I feel like if it was Mega Knight bait, he already would have played the Evo Scaly Barrel, and he probably would have Evo Mega Knight, so it's probably not actually going to be Evo MK bait. Let's go for the Sparky the back, same exact time I go for an Expo opposite. I actually feel pretty good about this. Normally, I would never advise going opposite lane against like Sparky the back and something really fishy like this, but I think this is going to go really well, because I have a pretty good advantage right now in the game, and I have Evo Archers coming up. So let's go with our Knight, let's get our Evo Archers down, Skelly's to block the Sparky shot, and I have to make sure I fireball those Evo Bats. I have no other option, and I will definitely take a Sparky shot here, but there's no need to panic about taking one Sparky shot. You kind of lose the battle but win the war, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to let that Sparky hit my tower, get a Knight on it later. If I went for a panic log, for example, trying to stop that hit, I would just lost my entire tower there. So that was a perfect sequence, and he knows that he kind of got outplayed there. I feel like that was really nice. Like, my decision making was just on point there, and so now all I have to do is survive for the rest of the game. And so I think what I'll do is I'll stack archers, because I want to get back to the Evo Archer as fast as possible, and we can just go for our Devo. Let's go one over to the left, and I might try and go for a non-Tesla defense here, or play like a Tesla next to the bow or in the corner or something like that, just to separate everything. I don't think there's really a point going Devo way too far. I wanted to get to work immediately. Let's fireball the horde right away. I have Evo Tesla next in cycles. I'm going to get back to the Evo Tesla, get it right, perfectly timed in the middle of everything. If you space your Evo Tesla close enough to the Sparky, it'll actually reset the Sparky right before it's able to get a hit. And as you can see, he knows it's kind of over. He kind of bet his match, right? So let's get our Knight down for this Goblin Giant. He's not really going to take my tower in the right. I mean, it's kind of over at this point. So I'm just going to go for the bow. I feel like he's going to keep spamming, but I'm, like I said, really not worried about any of this. All I really have to do is just sit back, chill, and yeah, that was a perfect sequence. Like, sometimes you play against really good players. This guy was really good, but you have to have perfect decision making, and that's exactly what I had in this game. Alright, so I'm 15-2 now. I literally just lost a balloon cycle because I misplaced my Tesla and it didn't pull the balloon. It was a little late. I'm sure you guys have all had moments like those. I am so frustrated because I feel like having no losses left is so dangerous, and I'm just kind of nervous, honestly. I try not to get nervous in events like these, but I'm at 2 losses, so I have to win 5 in a row at the highest bracket of wins, 15-20. I'll see if I can do it, but the worst part is that I was literally beating that guy by like 1,000, the balloon cycle player. Missed my Tesla once, like a second late, half a second late, and then the dude is just BMing like, congrats, I guess you won. But I'm not going to let that affect me. I think another really important thing about the 20-win challenge is mentality, and so what you need to do after a loss like that is just take a few seconds, even a few minutes, to have a break and reset, and you just can't afford to let it bleed over into your next game. Let's go for a Tesla for this bowler. He's going to Barb Barrel, so I'll try and catch that as soon as it comes down. Yep, Skelly's E-Spirit for the Barb Barrel. Make sure that gets taken care of, and that's going to be a really good Xbow lock. He's on like 2 Elixir right now, so he can't actually play anything down in time, and yeah, he gets the Baby Dragon down late. I'm actually going to let it lock onto my tower, then go Archers after the fact, because I could go Knight, but I want to cycle even faster to my Evo Archers. So I'm just trying to optimize literally as perfectly as possible, and these Archers are just going to like walk up and even get some damage themselves if he doesn't respond to them. Yeah, he has to NATO them, and that was a really bad NATO because it doesn't even work. NATO's such a bad card, and he's at like 4 Elixir right now, so he has to get a Goblin Hut down, and yeah, like he's just in trouble, man. All I have to do is make sure I Knight to block whatever he plays, because I don't have to worry about the Goblin Hut. It's not going to do anything. Yep, then to block the Ghost, and that's going to be game, because it's just over. So this guy's playing E-Giant, but he didn't even have a chance to play the E-Giant, because as you can see, I found exactly what he was playing at the start, and I just perfectly locked in and took his tower. Like I said, you cannot... I just got destroyed by this dude who I was playing from a down 2 balloon hits position against Loon Cycle, which is already a really bad matchup, and I feel like you just cannot let that bleed into your next games. You can't let previous losses affect future potential wins, and so what you need to do is just lock in, focus up, and move on to the next one. So that's exactly what I did here. Like you guys can see, I didn't let it bleed into this game. I didn't let it affect my future games. I want to get this 20 win. I will be getting this 20 win. And so against this situation now, all I really have to do, this is against any matchup. If you've already taken the tower in single, it's really nice. All you have to do is just defend, sit back and defend, which is really easy. I mean, this deck thrives with its defense a lot more than its offense. So you really just can defend anything with this deck. This looks kind of sketchy. Let's get a Knight down really high up so you can't get a bowler NATO on it. Then I've got my Tesla all in the corner so you can't really get a nice lightning on everything. Goes for a pretty interesting bowler NATO. Does not work out the way he was anticipating. And I mean, he's just in a world of hurt right now. He literally got 0 damage there. Even though he went for a lightning, that was just a perfect game against E-Giant. Like I said, didn't even get a chance to play the E-Giant. Just good Elixir counting and good plays in single. Kind of poor micro by him. And so if you just don't let your mentality ruin the way you play this challenge, you're going to be in for a good time. Alright, RZZ Jonah has some finishes there, and the mentality I'm going in with right now is I can literally win against anything. I know there are hard matchups, there are hard counters, but I can literally beat them because I'm probably a better player than most of the players I'm going to be playing against. I definitely did play against someone who was exactly my skill level since he had a better ladder finish than me and the same global tournament finish, but I know that if I play perfectly against someone who's not as good as me, no matter what the matchup is, I should be able to outplay them, and 3.0 Cycle is a deck that thrives in outplay. It specializes in playing better than the opponent. That's actually the whole reason I got into this deck in the first place. So that's the mentality I'm going for. You know, the matchups are not really going to be that fortunate. This is really gruesome challenge. I mean, we have Minor Wall Breakers, really hard matchup, Royal Giant, really hard matchup, but I can win all of them if I just play well. And so I'm not thinking about matchup, I'm thinking about the cards that I'm playing against and what I can do to outplay them. Even if they hard counter, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do the same plays that I would do regardless of the matchup. So I'm going to go for the Xbow opposite right now because, yeah, he does have P.E.K.K.A. Balloon like I suspected, and I want to force a Balloon out, so he's at like 0 Elixir right now. He's at like 2 actually, but he can't really afford to support this E-Dragon, so you guys can guess what I'm about to do with this. I'm going to get my King Tower activated, and this is basically guaranteed to be good game, so I could have gone all in, you know, committing to that Balloon, maybe getting a bit more damage, 500 more, but what really matters in the long term is that I get that King Tower activated. So if I ever see an E-Drag or Firecracker in single Elixir, I try my absolute best to activate against it as much as I can, at least when I'm playing locked in. When I'm playing on autopilot or not so locked in, then I won't be playing as well as I am. But right now I feel like I'm playing Prime SK back again, and I'm just really focused. I just want this 20 win. We're going to be patient, just take a nice Fireball here, not even go for anything with the Knight, just let it go, not even go E-Spirit to pressure, just completely chill. If he goes for something, I'll go for the bow, but otherwise we'll just split our Evo Archers and continue as normal. And okay, there is the P.E.K.K.A. So I think I'll just reset with a Tesla. I could Xbow opposite, but I'm playing perfect. I'm playing Prime SK like I said, so I want to play as optimally as possible. I don't want to go for an Xbow that's going to be bad at any time, so I'm just going to go for this Tesla plate, and that placement's just going to kind of preemptively stop a Balloon, so it's going to help against that E-Giant, or E-Drag. I have PTSD from playing E-Giant a lot in this challenge. Help against that E-Drag too. I can just let this Balloon die. No need to even go Tesla, because Archers do a lot of damage. I can just get my Archers down, and this is going to be pretty looking good. That's not really a phrase, but you get what I'm saying. He just went for the Barb Barrel. Let's go for the Skellies in front of the Archers to force a response. Then Xbow in the left, and he's kind of, yeah, struggling with what to do. As you can see, he did get the Ice Whiz down, but it was pretty late, and it was pretty misplaced. So I'm just kind of trying to throw him off. There's a freaking 6-7 emote in my spectators, dude. I cannot believe that. That's actually an emote. That's crazy. But let's just make sure we protect these archers, and we don't need to do anything about this E-Drag, actually. Yeah, I'm just kind of chilling. I mean, okay, he goes for the Lumberloon. I was probably going to go for a defensive Exo if I had the opportunity, but since he goes for the Lumberloon first, I'm fine. I think I can even probably go in myself at this point. And so there are two kind of situations. One is where the opponent is just playing so aggressively that you get a free opportunity to go in. And that's exactly what you want to do, like I got right there. There are other times where the opponent's playing pretty well, and you are not going to be the one who gives them the opportunity to go in for free. You're not going to go for a bad Xbow and let them go in. What I'm going to do right now is go for another bow in the right because I was patient. I went in when I had Evo archers in cycle. Let's Evo Tesla predict the balloon, perfect prediction, and as you can see, I just played perfect. Like I said, I know I'm probably better than most people I'm playing against, not even trying to have an ego, but just factual statement and trying to like lock in, know that I have the ability to do it, even if I'm on 2 losses, I can win against anything, and I'm going to get this 20 win. Let's go. We just got 17 wins, and unfortunately that means we are not going to be getting anything. This run is still meaningless. There is no badge for this 20 win challenge unless you get 20 wins. So you're going to have to get 20 wins. We're up against Lava Hound right now. I got starting handed really hard. I have no Xbow. I'm just going to go for my knight in front of the archer in the right. That way I can force out a ground troop. But this is what you do when you get starting handed by Lava Hound. You don't just like play aggressively still. I'm playing strategically. It was the worst possible situation. I split archers, he goes lava the back, I have no Xbow. So I just went knight in front of the archer on the right to force a response. That way I can get an easier time defending this Lava Hound. As you can see, we've kind of made it out of a bad situation in a perfect way. We've taken barely any damage now. I mean, like 2 lava pump hits is not a big deal whatsoever. And now I fixed my cycle such that I will have Xbow available when he goes Lava Hound next, and that's exactly the macro play I want to make. For me personally, my playstyle, I go Xbow same lane when they go Lava Hound in the back. So I'm going to split archers. He's not doing anything, so I'm going to do a play I love making as well, which is Xbow one side and Knight Archer the other side. So I'm going to do this right here. And so how that's going to work is he's going to have to respond to both sides, right? He gets the I-Drag down. Let's get our Skellies to block it, E-Spirit to reset, and cycle back to our Evo Archers. And we can probably kill this I-Drag in a pretty fast way. We get a lot of damage in both the left and the right. The problem is, I think those Evo Archers were bad. I should have let the Xbow die and then split my Evo Archers, so one would be going for the Valk and one would go for the I-Drag, because now I will get a lot of damage, but I have to waste a Tesla on this Valk. I know he's playing Lava Balloon, so it's kind of weird going Tesla in the middle, but if I played it 1 over, he wouldn't go Balloon into it anyways. I feel like he's just going to Lava Hound the back, and I'm down a lot of Elixir, so unfortunately, I feel like that one misplay of the Evo Archer is actually pretty big, and yeah, oh gosh, I'm down 4 Elixir, goes Lava at the back. So what I need to do in this situation is play really safe. I'm actually going to go Knight at the bridge, because if he lets it go, that's a 3 Elixir way to take tower, as opposed to going Knight at the back to just die to his air troops. So he does let me take tower. Now I just have to defend perfectly. My Tesla's like 4 cards out, bro. So I'm going to go for the archers early. Get back to my Tesla. We literally cycled 4 back to the Tesla when he went lava the back. And you get that Tesla down. And I'm going to get a perfect fireball even if I take 2 balloon hits to do so, right? Because I don't want to fireball too early. We'll go Knight to block first. Then we will fireball after the Lava Hound pops. And we actually do take 2 balloon hits, which again, I'm fine with. I know this is a lot of damage, but I'll just go archers, protect my archers, get my knight in front of the archers, and as you can see, this is pretty tense, but we actually got a really good defense going. He gets that zap down, which does not kill the archers. Looks like an Evo Valk swing, plus a zap doesn't kill archers, so that's a really nice interaction, I guess. Good to know. And if I win, this is going to be 18 wins. So predict lava in 3, 2, 1. Xbow, yep, there's a Lava Hound, so we'll go Xbow, Evo Archers to melt this Lava Hound ASAP. Skellies block the I-Drag, Knight to block as well, and E-Spirit to reset. And we can basically take his tower right now, which means even if he takes my tower back, we're just going to have a really good situation because it doesn't hurt to take the opponent's tower in a tower trade situation, right? Like, even if I completely put my phone down, just fireball his tower, I'll be able to win this game. But I'll just make sure I defend just to be fun and just to be safe at the end as well. But Lava Hound's pretty good. Even if you get starting handed, just know the exact perfect plays that you want to make. Alright, we got a game against Marco, and he has a number 52 best finish top 200 ladder. Like I said, I don't see finishes, I don't see ranks. All I know is that I can win if I play perfect, and that's what I'm going to focus on. We are at 18-2 now, so if I lose even once, I'm going to lose out of the challenge, so let's go for a Tesla with this really unfortunate starting hand. He goes for a Baby Dragon as well, so could be either Graveyard or E-Giant. Like I said, E-Giant is pretty popular in this 20-win challenge, and with the Barb Barrel, it's just really good against anything. I mean, you can outplay pretty much anything with that deck, so Pretty crazy deck. Let's get our Fireball off on the Goblin Hut, and with the Goblin Hut, it's basically going to confirm to you that's going to be E-Giant, because Baby Dragon, I guess it could still be Graveyard, actually. I'd rather play Graveyard. I feel like Graveyard is not that hard compared to all the other beatdown decks, like E-Giant Lightning is everywhere, but there's a 6-7 emote in the background again. I swear to God, guys, stop with the 6-7. You guys were spamming it in my stream earlier today as well. It's just so obnoxious. Okay, goes for a Valk the back. I'm not going to go for an aggressive Xbow. Like I said, I'm playing perfectly. I'm playing optimally. So if I go Xbow opposite, he will just go E-Giant on top. It'll be a -1 trade for him, but I'll have to respond to the E-Giant afterwards. I'll just reset with a Tesla and make sure I'm playing perfectly. And my game plan against E-Giant is to get spell damage in single Elixir. So what I'm going to play right now is, E-Spirit, log the towers, split archers constantly, and if he ever responds with like a bowler, I'm trying to bait out a bowler, right? So I'm going to go split archers again, and as you can see, even if we go into double now, I'm up 400. He's not going bowler, so my plan is to go knight in front of the archer to force out a bowler. Then I can go Xbow predicting the bowler right about now, or I can react actually. Yeah, there it is. So let's go with the Xbow. He's low in Elixir, and he has nothing in cycle. Yep, Baby Dragon. So I'm actually going to go for the Evo Tesla, reset the Baby Dragon onto my Tesla, and make sure we get this win in single, because E-Giant is going to be really painful the longer the game goes on. I mean, Evo Baby Dragon with an E-Giant push is a pain in the ass to deal with, so I do not want to deal with that. I just want to win the game in single, honestly, and that's my preference. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And his tower's down to 1200, so the game is not over, but it basically is over. We're down about 4 Elixir, but it was worth it to take his entire tower, and now I'm just going to reset with a defensive Xbow. Like I said, the playstyle differentiates based on the situation with this deck. I would not go Devo against E-Giant constantly in this matchup if I wasn't up this much, but because I'm up 2000 HP, I can just defend for the rest of the game and force him to kind of overcommit. I'm not going to be too aggressive early either. You can easily throw by being too aggressive with your spell cycle, for example, and go for random fireballs extremely aggressively for no reason. So what I want to do instead is just make sure I'm playing really safe, really good defense without ever overcommitting, right? So let's get our archers down for this Baby D. I think we actually do have to. I should have played them right away. I didn't know I'd need them. Like, I was kind of thinking about it. And so I could go for a Fireball on that E-Giant, just speed up the spell cycle, but don't really think there's much of a point. I think I'll just reset with the Debo, and I'm playing as literally optimally as I can physically fathom the optimality to be. Let's go for a Tesla like this. I like just kind of separating everything. Now he has to go for a Lightning in the middle if he wants Lightning at all. I'm going to take a Fireball here. I've made a mistake where I lost to a Giant Sparky deck earlier in this 20-win challenge, actually, because I'm on 2 losses now. And I didn't get good Fireball value on defense, so I kind of lost the game. So I'm just going to take good Fireball value where I see it, and just learn from my mistakes. Let's get our Evo Tesla to reset this bowler. I think we can maybe catch him off guard with an E-Spirit and log as well. And this might be a mini log. Hold on. Let's go for the log on the Goblin Hut too. His cycle is kind of messed up right now. I don't know if he has what he can do to defend this. Okay, he does get the Valk down in time, but let's see. We can just reset again, and we barely taken any. Okay, that E-Giant is a crazy E-Giant. Let's go Xbow, and we win the game right now if we just capitalize. He has no Hut in cycle. He has to go for, okay, Barb Barrel. Catch the Barb Barrel. Evo Tesla resets, and that is on tower. He has no Elixir, and just like that, perfection against E-Giant. Like I said, this dude is a top 50 finisher, I think. Doesn't even matter. We're able to play perfectly, and that is a beautiful win against E-Giant again. Alright, we got the 20-win game against Skynet. Again, this guy has finishes. Because if you guys do not know, 20-win challenge is skill-based matchmaking, so I'm playing a lot of players that are, high king tower level and similar achievements to me. A lot of ladder finishes, global tourney finishes. I've faced someone called Starry earlier in the challenge where he had, like, a number 6 best ladder finish. Something crazy, so I've been facing a lot of hard opponents, unfortunately, but that's what it is. Obviously, the game thinks I'm a pretty good player, too, to match me with these people, right? So you just have to focus on what you can control, which is exactly the cards in front of you and how you're going to play. Let's go E-Spirit to predict a Firecracker, maybe. Valkyrie. Okay, I like seeing Valkyrie, so it's going to be Hog Valk. Could be Hog EQ with Firecracker, Valkyrie. Could also be Hog ExeNado with Rocket, maybe. So let's just play as normal. No aggressive Xbows until I know exactly what he has. I'm going to play so perfectly because this is a game for 20 wins. I cannot mess this up, so I need to play absolutely perfectly. That is absolutely paramount in terms of this game right now. I'm not going to sacrifice anything. Okay, goes for the Exe. Let's go for the Xbow opposite to find out what he has. If he goes Hog, I can just Tesla. And okay, he goes for the Tesla himself. And as you can see, let's go for the log as well. So that's really good because obviously Xbow player that was more aggressive would have gone for, E-Spirit archers to reset that Tesla, for example. But log would have killed everything. But for me, I was focused. I'm locked in. Like I said, I'm playing Prime SK right now. I let it go because I knew more about his deck after making that play. And I'm actually up in both lanes by getting some value in both sides. So that was a net W for me. He goes for a Hog. Let's go Tesla low in case he has an Earthquake or a Lightning. I feel like based on his playstyle, he is carrying a Lightning probably because, I mean, it could be Rocket as well, but just because he has a Tesla, I've seen this deck before, Hog ExeNado with the Tesla. Like, I think it's Tesla instead of the Ice Spirit in the normal Viper deck. So yeah, you just want to kind of find out more about what they have. Let's go for the bow again. It's a bit aggressive, but I'm an aggressive Xbow player, what can I say? And he's going to go for probably an Evo Exe here. Let's go Knight to block. And looks like he waited, so well played. He's going to line up that Exe. Again, this guy's like a top 300 whatever finisher with Hog ExeNado. Like, he's a one-trick with this deck. He knows how to play this deck. So you have to know exactly how to play your deck. You can't just play broken decks and succeed, I guess. But yeah, we're just going to split our Evo Archers right now. And I'm going to play super passive, like I said. I think the play... Okay, I was going to Fireball his tower, but the play now is to Fireball his tower to kind of bait him into playing super aggressively. He does go for a Tesla, so I feel like that is a good Tesla, but at the same time, it's a bit aggressive. So let's go for our Knight to protect our Evo Archer. We have 2 Evo Archers cooking right now, so go for the Log Skellies to move this Valk away. And that might be a lock. No, it's not. I swear that Exe is barely not in range, but apparently it is. Anyways, he goes for a Hog, so I'm going to go for the Tesla Archers, just kind of reset again. And as you can see, I'm still winning. He's getting desperate. He goes for a Tornado Log on my Archers. That is a -2. I'll just log back. And I'm still winning because I have gotten a lot of good E-Spirit log chip over the course of the game. And now he's being impatient. I'm going to kind of coax him into being even more impatient. And I'm going to try and make him mad by fireballing his tower because I know that he's kind of losing his mind because he's like, why is this guy playing so calm and composed? I need to make a comeback. I'm going to go prediction Tesla when I go eggs the opposite because he's going to go Xbow, and I just didn't. Let's push this Hog into my Tesla. He did not expect me to know that play, but if they go for like a Hog and you have a pre-Tesla in the middle, you can actually push it over. Okay, that hits my tower once, which is unfortunate. You can actually push it into your Tesla, though, which is a pretty nice play. Let's go Xbow. He just went for a really aggressive Lightning, so I feel like he's dead right now, honestly. Let's go for the Evo Archers. Log Skellies to reset this Exe. I think I have to go E-Spirit as well. I just want that to get off my Xbow, ideally. And that is the reset. Yes, that is a perfect reset. And that is going to be a lock. Beautiful, beautiful micro. He goes for a Tornado. I am not going to keep this pressure up. I could, but I think... Actually, no, I will. I need to keep the pressure up because if he goes for a Lightning, it's really good for me. He's going to be down too much Elixir. Now I'll go for the Fireball on the Valkyrie and make sure I'm just kind of defending. I can go Evo Tesla if I need to reset whatever he plays. Yep, we'll go for the Evo Tesla. We can get our log ready if he goes Goblins or something. Exe, okay, I'll go Archers to DPS it down, but I will let the Xbow die. And we've won the game officially now, because I'll go E-Spirit, force him to respond to the Archers, right? And now the game is totally won. I mean, it's not over. I can't choke, but if I keep going Xbows, that's how I'll choke. If I just play perfect, I'm going to go Tesla, Knight to block the Valk from crossing the bridge and tagging for the Hog. I will 100% win this game. He goes for a pretty decent Lightning, I guess. He hit 7 Elixir worth of value, but what his condition and concern is right now is getting tower damage. I'm not going to give him tower damage, so I'm going to go for the Devo because he just went Lightning, so he can't really do anything about this. Of course, it would be a bad play if he had Lightning, but since he doesn't, I'm just going to take that, get our nice E-Spirit log down low, and I could piss him off by fireballing his tower, but I'll just chill again. Knight to bridge block the Valk, and as you can see, I feel like when you're playing perfectly, micro just goes in your favor, you know? When you're making the right decisions, the micro is going to follow. That's what I've noticed when I'm playing as well. Micro usually gets in favor of my opponents who play well. This guy was just playing so haphazardly and panicked because I just played much more calm and collected than him. And that was just a beautiful, beautiful game. And that right there is the 20-win challenge. That, I can't believe it was that stressful. Honestly, I focused up so hard because I've already tried 3 times. I got 14 wins first try, 15 wins second try, 17 wins just now. I was out the whole day yesterday, so I couldn't even play yesterday. But then today I'm back and I got the 20. Let's freaking go, man. I'm actually so happy about that. And that is my guide on how to win the 20-win challenge. As you can see, we get this exclusive emote. We will be getting the badge, and that is exactly how you get 20 wins with 3.0 Expo cycle. SK out.